as we look at the games taking this year's trip to G4, the award show for gamers. This week, meet the nominees for Best Multiplayer, Hottest Character, and more.
I'll fill you in on the details.
Joining the journey starting Friday at 8 p.m. The Road to G4 Volume 2, presented by EV Games and Jeep.
Coming up next, the Screensavers, followed by Players at 8 and Sweat at 8:30.
Coming up tonight, Steve Bass, author of PC Annoyances, is back with some nifty tricks and tips. Plus, Kevin's found some great bargains online. It's the real deal. And no longer science fiction, it's ASIMO, the most advanced humanoid robot ever. Live from the Tech TV studios in San Francisco, it's the Screensavers!
Hello, welcome to the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us on the Screensaver, the shows whose viewers spend more time defragging their hard drives than they do brushing their own teeth. It's true.
That's horrible.
I just had cavities filled this morning. I actually had 2 done.
Really?
A total of 6 over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
I went to the dentist for the first time in 12 years the other day.
How many?
Actually, they didn't give me a final count. They were so busy scraping stuff off my teeth.
Yeah, I had that done too.
Yeah.
Benefits are running out, so you got to get all that stuff done.
You know what?
What's that?
You can extend it for $20 a month.
Really?
Yeah, we'll tell you about
I
that
know
later.
that.
We're not going to tell you about insurance deals here on the Screensavers. What we are going to do, we got author Steve Bass here with some great tips. Man, well, you know, Windows annoyances, you're going to take a few of them away. Plus, we're going to take a look at ASIMO, the world's most advanced humanoid robot, which it turns out has remote controls. It's like the world's most complicated
cool.
RC
He's like this
car.
big.
ASIMO's cool. I got to like shake his hand. It's
He's like
spooky.
Dan size.
He's spooky.
Yeah.
But there's like they only let us see one of the people that control him. So I wonder what the other person does behind the curtain.
Oh.
We're going to talk about that later on. Plus we've scoured the web. We've scored deals for you on the web.
Yes,
It's our latest real deal. Kevin's got the scoop. And Fu is holding down the fort.
What's up,
Brush your teeth and go to the dentist.
No, they say you're supposed to floss more than once a week.
No,
I didn't
once
know that.
a day
I thought it was once
at
a
least.
week. I
Jesus.
brush. It's
Look,
for flossing.
look, boys and girls, take it from Kevin and Patrick. Dental hygiene is no joke, and it's going to be really painful if you don't brush your teeth multiple times daily and floss daily. And if you don't know how to brush properly, ask your dentist. Trust us.
Dental tip, Patrick Norton. Throw it in the show. Done. Okay, give us a call. The phone number is 888-989-7879. And also email us at thescreensavers@techtv.com for those final emails. Back to you guys.
Very cool. Let's start with the tech news that caught our eye today. Sarah has the first story.
Before I get to the first story, we have kiltage.
Yes, we do. Let's get a look at that.
I'd like to apologize for forgetting my kilt Monday.
That's awesome. Did
And
you shave?
And Thursday.
No, I
It
didn't.
looks like your legs are shaved.
No, they're not
Oh, there you
shaved.
go. Okay.
There's the fuzz is still there.
I thought you bicked them.
No.
Waxed. Yeah, that's what he does. Waxing.
Paul's just cruising for a beating today. Our executive producer, Paul Block, in the corner, mocking me and my kiltage.
Well, we all love your kilt. I'm glad that it made an appearance on this fine Tuesday.
I'm listening
Wednesday.
to her, not to you,
This
Paul.
fine Wednesday.
Your boss is a butthead.
You heard it here. Moving on to the news. The 2004 Comdex Tech Trade Show, originally scheduled for October, has been canceled. Officials at Media Live who own Comdex announced Monday that the show has been postponed and they are focusing on rebuilding it for next year. It seems that Comdex has been eclipsed by the hugely popular CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show, and E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo. Huge, big, huge. Comdex exhibitor attendance has dropped steadily over the past few years, and Media Live had to file for bankruptcy last year in 2003.
Whoops.
I'm glad that it's finally over because it was getting
Right.
pretty sad.
98 was amazing.
I know. I agree.
It was bigger than like CES was. It was huge. Everything everyone wanted to see, every new computer, every
95
vendor.
was amazing. They've been around for quite some time, right?
Comdex Computer Dealers Exposition. For those of you who don't know, Computer Dealers Exposition originally took place. The big show was in Las Vegas.
Yes.
It was annual, and it was like homecoming. You've been like
I grew
sneaking
up
in
there,
since
so
you
I was
were-
stoked because I was like 15 going to Comdex and seeing all these motherboards and processors, and I was like
It's amazing.
drooling. It was awesome.
And the best day at Comdex was like the last day when the
All the
smaller
free
vendors
swag
would be
and
like, have a T-shirt here, motherboard, $20, because I don't want to carry it home on the plane.
Very true. I got a lot of good deals there.
But you used to see everything, and it's gotten smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And
Last year it was like
chunks of
20
market have
people.
done everything. Yeah, 3 vendors, 20 people, and they canceled it. So for people, longtime computer weenies, are just like, wow, it finally died.
CES is still cool though.
CES is amazing.
Yeah.
We like CES. Sarah?
Moving on, the open source movement is under attack. Several think tanks, which spend their time doing high-level research for corporations and institutions, have publicly denounced open source for a host of reasons. Here's a short list of think tanks and why they think open source is bad. The Small Business Survival Committee says that using open source will leave small businesses open to lawsuits. The Citizens Against Government Waste think that open source will cause the government to waste money. And the Citizens for a Sound Economy think that incompatibilities between open source software is worse than incompatibilities between proprietary software. What do all these think tanks have in common? They are all funded by Microsoft.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that Microsoft, they probably have like a little slush fund. They throw a couple $100,000, say, hey, create this new group that's anti-open source.
This is listed up on Slashdot. It's a site called Deltoid, and they're basically listing of all these, like, is open software a threat to the future of intellectual property rights? Is the penguin contaminated? Open source's moment of truth, right? And you scroll down, and it's like, intellectual property, the open source challenge, and it's basically like, open source is evil, it's free, it's open, it's available, it's secure, it must be horribly wrong, right? So you start looking at it, and they start quoting all these articles that are like, yeah, wow, let's see, how's a Microsoft owned? Capitalism under fears. But you start looking through here, and it's like
It's all
Citizens
linked
for a
back.
Sound Economy is just one of the several tax-exempt organizations that divided over $750,000 from Microsoft, and now wax in outrage over the proposed breakup of the software giant. And it's talking about, and like everybody's like, oh, this is horrible, but this is standard operating procedure, right? I'm big company. I don't like something. I hire somebody who can write. I put them in an office. It's called lobby. You put them in an office, and it's like, I, Patrick Jordan, am the open source defender of ticked off people. Basically,
Right.
you come up with a highfalutin, the Alexis de Tocqueville Society.
It's not something they're going to put on Microsoft's homepage saying we support these organizations, we funded them, but it's kind of like guerrilla underground tactics to undermine this new technology.
Open source has millions of people who believe in it around the world. Well, we're just going to cut straight to the chase.
Yeah.
We're going to put some people we're going to make up a name. Even if they don't make it, or it's going to an organization and they say, like, you don't believe in decentralized organizations. They're like, yeah, it's communist. We're like, open source is communist. They go, open source is communist. Like, here's 100,000. Do the good work. And they're like, we're going to do the good work.
Oh yeah, I do too. Give me $100,000, done. I hate open source. I'm kidding.
It's scary, but this is the
scary.
way it works.
Very true.
Okay.
Sarah?
Next story, also about Microsoft, but very different. Microsoft has developed a new way to work that body. The Washington giant announced Tuesday that they've received a U.S. patent for a method of transmitting data and power to a network of wearable devices like earrings and watches. Using electrodes, the device would send data or audio signals at different frequencies through the user's body, creating a living network. Though this may not be hitting store shelves right away, some analysts think it could be the next big thing. What do you guys think?
Electrodes. I don't care about the
Sounds
data.
dangerous.
You can send data through my bones all you want, whatever you want to do. That's fine. But the power.
Right.
Windows crashes and I get like electrocuted. I don't want that.
I'm sure that's going to be a very low voltage.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't like power running through me.
Yeah, the blue screen of death takes on a whole new horrible kind
seriously.
of oversight. It's curious. It's also one of those patents where it seems like there's a lot of fuzzy parts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see if this is because Docomo has been working on stuff like this. Is this sort of a patent they've like, this is the future, so we're just going to patent it now? I wonder if they've actually worked out any of the details
I don't
to
know.
make it work.
Why would you need like your watch to talk to your earrings? Not that I wear earrings.
To
but
sell,
Sarah would
to keep
need them.
shareholder value rising.
You're right.
Hey, earrings have a lot to say.
Remember Synergy? What was that show, Jim, where she had the computer she talked to?
Exactly.
That was a cool show.
Hey, you laugh now.
Truly outrageous.
Did you like that show?
Oh, yeah.
It's a great show. was right after G.I. Joe. It was an old cartoon.
Good to know. Sarah, thank you so very much.
You're very welcome. Have a great show.
Zach joins on the phone from Uniontown, Pennsylvania. How you doing, Zach?
Hey, Zach.
Yeah, I need to know how I could record video from my PlayStation onto my computer.
Okay. Do you have a
Yeah.
capture card in your computer?
Yeah, I do.
Have you tried plugging the S-video output on the PlayStation or the composite output on the PlayStation into the capture card on the computer?
No, I didn't. I didn't really notice that there was one.
Cool. Well, here's the thing, right?
Uh-huh.
And you ever hear us talk about like NTSC video or NTSC standard video?
Yeah.
Basically, any television signal, it's your television, right, or your television, your VCR, the analog outputs from video cameras, all that stuff, they speak in a common language. It's NTSC video. It's electrical signals that your television can interpret and turn out into basically signals that come through the wire. Your television turns them into the visual images that you and I enjoy and call television, right? So it doesn't really matter.
Same thing for video games.
Exactly.
Just like TV.
The ports coming out of the back of the video game that's designed to go into your TV is the same thing that would come out of a VCR. It's the same thing that would come out of a DVD player. Basically, if you're talking about the analog composite video or RCA jacks, or if you're talking about the S video, right? So all you got to do is basically take your PlayStation and plug it into the capture card, or plug it into the back of your VCR, and then plug the back of your VCR into the television.
Don't be confused. If your PlayStation doesn't have an S video out,
right?
I think they don't have S. There's an adapter for it though that you can convert to S video that you could go into the capture card. Why do you want to do this, Zach? Just out of curiosity, we've gotten a lot of calls about this chat over the last few days.
Are you proving that you've gotten past the level? Are you showing somebody how you did it, or you just want to?
A couple of my friends who live in Canada want to see these glitches. I can't describe them to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, you want to video. Basically, you want to capture it on your system, compress it, and send them to them in an email or a download.
Right.
Cool.
That's cool.
I mean, the first thing we do is plug it. Plug the console into the capture card. You should get the game up on a window on your system, and then go ahead and record that.
Start capturing.
All right.
You're going to want to compress that down, though. Don't send that to them like native. Find a codec like DivX or Windows Media Player has a really good encoder.
Or otherwise, you'll end up with like a 19 gigabyte file, which is really tough to send to a Hotmail account.
Okay.
Sound good, Zach?
Yeah.
Have fun, man.
Thanks for the call, Zach.
Okay.
We're just getting started. I met with guys who helped to make Honda's humanoid robot ASIMO come to life. We're going to show you that later on. And after the break, Steve Bass is here to show us how to protect ourselves from phishing expeditions and where to find a better spell checker for everything. We're going to show you when the screensavers continues. Our next guest is the author of PC Annoyances and longtime contributing editor with PC World. Ladies and gentlemen, here to show us some of his latest hard-won experiences, tricks, and time savers, Steve Bass. Welcome back to the Screensaver, Steve. This is good. You and I, this first one, fishing expeditions.
Excuse me, have you combed your legs, or do you just let it clump? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Patrick.
Mock the television host.
Fishing expeditions.
That's okay. No, we get a shot. We get a shot of my hairy legs if you want to. Say that they won't. There's a line they draw on television.
I understand it.
FCC might get involved, and they don't normally regulate cable. The fishing expeditions.
I got an email from Earthlink, and they said, "Hey, your credit card's expiring. Click on this link to renew it." And the problem for me was that my credit card was expiring, so it was perfect. I was rushed, so I started to click on it, and I said, "Oh my goodness, this is a phishing expedition. They're looking to get my credit card number, my mother's maiden name, my sexual proclivities, all of that stuff." Well,
so they can then order, cookware and have it sent to their house in, China or anywhere else.
Absolutely, they go to the Gap and they can do all of their. This is what a typical email looks like. Most people seem to have been getting these.
It seems so innocuous.
They do. And in most cases, this link here is really squished down. It's made to look like PayPal.
So it looked like PayPal.com, but if you actually start looking at what the link actually links to, it's going to be something like this.
And when you go behind the scenes to look at the source of the email, it's obfuscated.
And it's like, where is this going? Sign in.ebay.com, and it's like, I've never seen this before, but you never look at this part of it.
You never do.
And what you see is something.
What you do is click, and you end up on eBay or Citibank, and that's what this thing looks like. Looks real, right?
I mean, basically, they are forging a website forging a login to get your password, your credit card
All of that
information,
stuff.
your personal information.
And they go and they snarf this site and they make it look as if you're really going to an eBay site. Or the next screen is Citibank.
I get emails trying to bring me to Citibank sites like this constantly. The other one, the American Express, I actually got taken by American Express spoofing email. Yeah.
You?
And I was like, I launched it, I went to it, they just sucked down the American Express page, and I logged in, and I went, son of a delete
It wouldn't have happened if you were wearing pants, Patrick.
You know, I was wearing pants at the time. That's the shocking
Then you
thing.
should have been wearing...
You've got some cool software, though, to help fight this.
Absolutely. If we go to, this is my Gmail account, and some gracious soul, Terry Courier, sent me a live one. He got this today. eBay requests, pay for your fees, blah, 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 and here's the link. Click on the link. Let's see what happens.
We launch a window, and look, we're going into our so-called eBay account page, but this is the slick part right up here.
Right. It looks like a real eBay account, but this program called SpoofStick, absolutely free program that goes into your toolbar, either Internet Explorer or Mozilla Firebird, shows you exactly where you really are.
And I'm
Very,
pretty
very
sure
cool.
that eBay does not have a website called ns.zonas.
Absolutely. You look at that, and that's your safeguard. If you were to go to PayPal right now, you can see that you're really on PayPal.
And, you know, folks, I'm going to take that typing course really soon.
Don't rush.
I'll have a lot of time.
Okay.
But yeah, essentially PayPal.com.
There's another great program from Earthlink. You don't need to be a subscriber. Go to, it's on your website, on GT, what is the name?
G4TechTV.com / the screensavers, or the screensavers.
Or the screensavers, wherever you'd like to go. It's a program called Scam Busters, and it's pretty cool because it does just this. It does the same looking at the site and telling you what it is. It also includes a Google search bar and a pop-up blocker.
And that's actually something you don't have to be an Earthlink subscriber to get.
You don't have to be.
Cool.
The downside to the Earthlink one is it takes up a lot more space. So you hit Options, go to Configure, and go to Large, and click OK. That's what the one on Earthlink looks like. They really want to emphasize that you're on a real site or a not real site.
Shrink that down a little bit, just so we don't scare the folks at home. We're super geeks. We actually read URLs because we have nothing better to do. How do you avoid getting taken by these?
You have to be paranoid. It's not always a cigar. Freud was right. Be paranoid. You get an email, you look at it, and you say, hey, I'm suspicious of this. If you're asking me to click something, if you're saying my credit card or something's wrong, be suspicious. The second rule is never click on it. Never click on anything in email. Don't go to that site through email. Instead, if you get an email that says PayPal is wanting you to do something, get out of email, go to your web browser, type in on your own, PayPal.com, go to PayPal. My sense is that if your credit card is expiring, PayPal is going to say to you, credit card's expiring.
Hey, welcome to PayPal. Please go to
safe. You've got to be safe.
It's a good thing. You also have another really cool tool in here. That's As You Type.
Man, I love this program. I use it. I've been using it for 2 years. What it does is it checks your spelling everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in a URL, typing in a URL, or you're in instant messaging. It'll check your email. I tried a couple of these. You typed in weasel.
One of my favorite. Oh, wait, it automatically corrected it for me.
Aha. That's because it does two things. One, it watches all of the mistakes you make, and then you have a chance to correct those later on in the program. Or if it already knows how stupid how you misspell things.
How gifted your creative spelling habits are.
Right. It automatically changes it for you on the fly. So you can try assortment of weasels. If it shows that it's underlined in red, what it does is later on it lets you go in and make that correction. So from then on, whenever you type in weasel incorrectly, it'll fix it.
So it might go to...
So you go to over here to mistake review. Now these are all in the mistakes I made. Here's one of yours. Okay, so in this case it's not even recognized. So change it so it's correct. You know how to spell weasel for real, don't you?
We can only hope. Well, apparently not.
Did you rehearse this, Patrick? Or?
You know, it's a sad thing is I can't even...
No, W-E... Are you
ASIMO?
close? All right, good. Then hit correct add. Click OK. Close this, or minimize it to hide to the system tray. Now type in your misspelling. And it corrects it for you.
Excellent.
But the cool part is it does it in instant messaging, in email, it'll do it in Word. It does a better job.
So basically, it almost keeps an eye on everything you're typing and takes a look at
everything, no matter where you are. And that's what's nice about it. I'm never embarrassed by misspelling. It also has...
This is pretty cool. You can actually drop in additional...
in it. Yeah.
And we just actually dropped all that type in there, or there was another one. Was it /A/?
Right. So when I have boilerplate responses, this all plows right in.
So and
then works its way back up to the top to a spot where I can put in the reader's name. Type in Patrick, if you can spell
Dear
it.
Patrick. That's very cool.
If you go to as you types icon, doesn't take up a lot of RAM. Let's go to speed typing, and let's go to shortcuts. All of these are things that I have built in.
Very cool.
So I
it's
have a
almost
couple
like
of
quick
keys.
macro only allows you to drop more text in. How much does this cost?
The cost is about $50, but for Tech TV people, up until the end of this, the end of either this month or next month, there's a special URL where you can get it for $35.
That's up on our website.
That's on your website. It is worth the money, and if you don't want to buy it, try it for 30 days.
That's it, because you live by this program.
Absolutely.
Steve, good stuff.
It's
Thank
been a
you so
pleasure.
much. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve, we like him. Check out his book. It's called PC Annoyances, and you can always go to his website, which is PIMBMUG.
Wait, no. PIBMUG.com.
There's a link there at the bottom to buy it. That'll help out Steve and the users group. Steve, good stuff.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, still to come, Honda's robot ASIMO has been almost 20 years in the making. Find out what makes him the most advanced humanoid robot ever. That's coming up later on. But up next, we explore the different types of RAM, all thanks to our next caller. We're going to talk about, well, RAM when the Screensavers continues.
Don't forget to register for this week's Screensavers LAN party.
Powered by NVIDIA.
The game is NovaLogic's Joint Ops, the full version. It will be a 150-player server. We'll be playing their new advanced and secure game type. Each team must capture a series of waypoints in order to win. So go to g4techtv.com/LAN party and click on the register for the LAN party link. And we'll see you tomorrow for the Screensavers LAN party.
Woohoo!
That's a fun game, 150 players.
Yeah.
I keep saying that, but it is cool when you get that many people.
You spent a
in
lot
there.
of time in it lately?
Not lately. Actually, the servers have been down the last few days. I do have a full copy of it, though. Are the servers back up? Does anybody know?
Servers
They're up. Okay,
Servers are
Dan, so they're-
We like that.
got a lot of players here. Everyone's like, they're up, they're up, they're up. Cool.
Gary joins us on the phone from Sebring, Florida. How you doing, Gary?
All right, how you guys doing?
Excellent.
Pretty good.
How can we help you today?
I ordered a new motherboard, and it has a dual-channel double data RAM. Now, is that anything different? Do I need special RAM?
It's basically a double data. It's basically the same old RAM, but the dual channel part is basically the motherboard itself. What you are going to have to do is make sure you have both channels on the motherboard populated. If you don't have both of those filled, you don't take advantage of the dual channel.
And they have to be the same size, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know, you might want to check. You can probably download if you haven't received the motherboard already. You can probably download or get the information, download the manual, or get the information off to the motherboard manufacturer's website, and that'll give you the full details on what the specs of the RAM it'll handle, how far you can overclock it or not, and what the requirements are in that RAM.
Now, Gary, just to let you know, it's normally not banks like 1 and 2. They'll do 1, 2, 3. It's normally like banks 1 and 3 because they each have their own memory controller.
Again,
and you got to check the manual. But 9 times out of 10, from what I've seen, all the motherboards that we've had in here, the whole it's always like 1 and 3, I believe, are the banks, right, Dan? 1 and 3, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So yes, it will give you a healthy performance boost. Yes, it is worth doing, but make sure you buy your memory appropriately. Like I have a system at home that I only put 512 megabytes into because I was going to add when I had the money. This is like a year ago when I built it another 512 megabyte stick. But you know, you also want to make sure really you should buy both sticks at the same time,
Same
from
timing,
the
same
same manufacturer,
everything.
and make sure they match up.
All righty, thanks.
You're welcome, Gary.
You guys have a good day.
You too, man.
You too. Thanks for the call.
Right now, we got Sarah with a quick tip.
That's right. If you're having problems with certain hardware you've installed, the first place to troubleshoot in Windows is your device manager. So to get there, right-click My Computer and choose Properties. Then click on the Hardware tab. Then click the Device Manager button. And at that point, just look for any devices that need attention. Normally, a driver update is all you'll need to get back on your feet, back in business with Windows. Now, don't go anywhere. On this show, save money with the Screensavers. We found some great deals online, and we'll show them to you. And after the break, meet ASIMO, the most advanced humanoid robot ever created, when the Screensavers continues.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Patrick Norton. Coming up this half hour, there's some great online bargains to be had. Kevin's got the deets.
I do indeed.
Good stuff?
Good stuff.
Amazing stuff?
Yes.
Amazing stuff. Don't go away. Plus, we got a caller who wants to hack into Windows XP. We're going to ask him Well, we're going to ask him a lot of questions. It should be
Work
dangerous.
machine. He's locked out. He wants to get back in.
It's a work machine.
Yes.
Right now, though, in 1986, Honda started on the development of a humanoid robot. On October 31, 2000, ASIMO was completed, at least the first version. It still remains the most advanced humanoid robot ever created. I had a chance to meet ASIMO and Stephen Keeney, who works with ASIMO and the Honda team here in the United States. Pleasure to meet you, ASIMO.
Hello, everybody.
ASIMO's like a rock star. You've got tour support, you've got lights, you've got a stage show, you've got handlers. What's going on? Why is ASIMO on tour?
Well, we're on a national educational tour with ASIMO. It's really just amazing. You know, ASIMO's 4 feet high, which is about the height of maybe...
size.
Yeah, kid size. And it's amazing the immediate rapport that's built between ASIMO and maybe a 10-year-old kid. They just fall in love with ASIMO at first sight. ASIMO's been designed as a helper to people, and one of our first categories of people would like to help are people who lack full mobility. That's why ASIMO's been designed at a size to be able to communicate easily with these people.
Very cool. When you look at it, how long is right now? It's not a fully autonomous robot. It balances and it walks, but there's 2 controllers that actually, I guess, one for the hand motion and one to physically move it around the stage. Is that right?
Well, we can control ASIMO with as few as one operator by either a laptop computer or a remote control computer that's wearable. ASIMO can also be controlled by voice commands and hand signal commands, so ASIMO does have a great deal of autonomy right now.
You know, you're really cute.
A lot of people don't realize that ASIMO started as a project in 1986. This is a really long-term project for Honda. You figured out how to make the creature walk. You have it with some level of autonomy now. How long before it's fully autonomous or could actually be a caregiver inside of a home without separate handlers having to keep tabs on it?
With the improvements that we've seen in ASIMO already, we're hoping maybe within 10 years to have a version that will actually be applicable in, say, an assisted living environment.
Sure. Are the biggest challenge, is it enough processing power? Is it the software to do the recognition? I mean, because you mentioned earlier, it's math and science and physics, everything from battery longevity all the way out through the fundamental problems with dealing with computers in a one-on-one relationship in terms of voice recognition and being able to cogitate. What are the primary focus of the research for ASIMO right now?
Well, we are looking into many different areas that need further development, such as you mentioned, battery life. Right now, ASIMO can operate for about 30 minutes, but we're looking into technologies like miniature fuel cells that would allow ASIMO to work almost indefinitely with just a quick recharge. We're also looking at improving further the artificial intelligence so that ASIMO can truly understand a command and carry out that command. The processing power of ASIMO is about twice the most powerful, say, computer you could buy from any of the companies out there these days, home computer, for example. And we use a number of different processing units. There's one for speech, one for vision, one for motor functions. So there are many. It's really hard for us to give you an equivalent in, say, processing power.
Are they off-the-shelf processors? Are they RISC chips, CISC chips, Intel? What's inside the critter? Or how much can you tell me before the black cape drops down and I'm not allowed to ask any more questions?
We can't share everything with you, but most of the components have been custom built by Honda engineers, and of course the software as well.
How actually, I mean, the hands are incredibly ornate. How are they actually controlled? Is there individual motors inside the fingertips, or how does that work?
Well, right now the hands are controlled through a mechanical wire system with the controls being actually located in the forearm area. And we're working on new technology to allow each of the fingers to actually sense touch and pressure.
I got to ask, we have a little camper here. What does ASIMO stand for?
Well, ASIMO stands for Advanced Stepped and Innovative Mobility, and it really personifies what we're trying to do, which is create a humanoid robot.
Stephen, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. Pleasure to speak with you.
It was trippy.
How much? How much if I want one in my house?
It's going to be years from now, and they're not going to be cheap. Maybe they're going to be cheap, but I can't imagine what one of those would cost right now. We didn't really get into much. Is there's two people that actually. ASIMO's like a robot, but it's the world's most complicated remote-controlled robot. They've got two people normally behind. One's got a regular RC controller that's kind of tied into a computer. Actually,
it didn't know to shake your hand, though. It didn't know that.
They basically, there's the cameras behind there. There's somebody who's seeing the image from that. What was really funny is the controller they use for a lot of the functions is actually a Nintendo controller.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, hey, it's one of the most bulletproof interface devices ever made. We're like, you're kidding.
That's awesome.
And the other thing that you never hear, like when they show ASIMO video, you never hear ASIMO. ASIMO is like, because there's all these cables and wires and motors inside of it.
A little creepy.
Well, yeah, it's a little spooky because it really, people, you're not used to seeing things that move like people unless they're, inside of a video screen. So to see a mechanical device move like a people is just, we were talking about that.
If there was like 50 in a room, would you take your sledgehammer and just go crazy?
There are 50.
That'd be fun.
It depends on what the situation is. Terminator has to start somewhere.
That's true.
Yeah, right now, he can resist if you push against ASIMO. There's kind of a pushback system to it, but right now it'd kind of be like, boink, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In 10 years from now, when they can chase me down and run faster than me and beat me with a stick, I'm getting in the nearest truck and just running for the hills. It's good stuff. ASIMO's on a North American tour. Get the complete tour schedule at asimo.honda.com. It is an amazing, amazing thing.
Very cool.
Fascinating to watch.
So there we are. Our next caller is locked out of his work PC.
Uh-oh.
We're going to help him out. But up next, we found some amazing deals you're not going to want to miss. It's the real deal, and it's all when the Screensavers continues. It's time for another real deal. That's where we go out and we find you the absolute best tech bargains that we can. We use the web, sometimes the newspaper. Today, they all happen to be from the web.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's easier.
This is a sick deal.
This is a cool deal. This is one from Newegg.com. It's an NEC burner. Now, it's an NEC 8X DVD plus RW, dash RW, does all the plus in the dash. But the kicker is on this one here. It's $69. And there is a little hack. There is a updated firmware that you can get for it, and you'll actually flash the little mini firmware inside of it, and it allows it to write to dual layer. It's a new dual layer burner. So if you do that, you have a cheap little 69.
The question is, there's a ton of people talking about this BIOS hack. We basically put a later model drive BIOS into it. It's supposed to burn to dual layer. People can upload the BIOS. Has anybody actually tested it with dual layer media?
Well, we haven't seen the media in the stores.
Right.
So I'm thinking not. There's 109 some comments. A lot of them have updated are posting about how they've updated the BIOS. I don't know if any of them have obtained any of that media, but that is an important thing. But still,
it's a great price.
$69, still a great price.
DVD burner.
And it's got a lot of great reviews, so that's definitely one worth checking out.
And if that deal goes away, check it other places because it's selling so cheap at so many places.
For sure. Next one is a Netgear 108 megabit wireless router. Now they do this by using a technology called Super G, which is basically they bind two G connections together, and you have to use a special wireless card with that.
Okay.
That either Netgear sells or also D-Link makes a series. They've both adopted this standard called Super G.
So are they intercompatible? Can I use the different cards with the different?
Super G is like some type of standard that they're both working on together. I don't know who developed it originally, but $43 gets yourself a router that'll do standard G as well. So you don't have to have the Super G. But Netgear is cool. The reason I like Netgear routers a little bit better than the Linksys is they have some additional functionality. Like let's say you get port scanned. They'll then send you an email letting you know that you've been port scanned, which is pretty cool. And, just seem to be a little step above the Linksys capabilities.
Very nice.
Great little product. Next one we found is a free 1-year subscription, courtesy of McAfee, to PC Magazine. And it turns out that this link has gone so fast and so popular that the actual print version is gone. They've already run out of the print, none left there. But you can still subscribe to the digital version, which is the exact same thing as the print. They give you all the pages, all the ads, everything. Page for page is the same. It just shows up in your inbox as a PDF instead, or some type of format that you have to launch.
That's cool.
But it's pretty cool. Completely free. PC Magazine, can't beat it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not bad at all. Now, if you want any of these deals for yourself, two things. One, you have to act fast. We're in like 50-some million households. A lot of people are going to be wanting to get these deals. Start now. Second thing is to get the links to the products at my article on my website, kevinrose.com. All the links are right there for you.
Right now, we're going to kick it over to Sarah, who's got another helpful tip.
A very helpful tip. Internet Explorer loves to be your default browser. We all know this. But if you're a Mozilla user or something else, You should disable IE from always checking to see whether it's the default browser. It gets very annoying. So from IE, go to Tools and open up Internet Options. Then click the Programs tab up here at the top. And then just make sure down at the bottom the Internet Explorer should check to see where the default browser is unchecked, and it will stop harassing you. Now, coming up after the break, we're going to talk to Mark about his Windows XP dilemma. What is it? You'll find out after these messages.
Be sure to catch tomorrow's show. Build your own RC car lap counter, plus resell your internet access with Wi-Fi and some handy software, and frag a screensaver in our LAN party. That's all on tomorrow's show.
You're gone tomorrow.
I'm gone tomorrow.
Where are you going?
I got my birthday on Saturday, so I'm taking a little downtime, get a little festive.
Well, happy early birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
Very cool. Sarah's hosting with me tomorrow. Outstanding. And then get this, Martin Sargent is hosting with me on Friday.
Unfortunately, that's not a live show.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's going to be such a good show.
So that's going to be sometime between July and August. You'll get to see Marty hosting the screensavers again.
We're going to have fun.
I would love to. Actually, I'd almost tempted to come back here to watch that.
Yeah.
That would be, hijinks will ensue.
Very cool.
Mark joins us on the phone from Greenville, South Carolina. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Patrick. Hey, Kevin. How you doing?
Good.
Doing good?
How about yourself?
Well, not too bad. I've got an issue with the computer at work.
Mm-hmm.
Someone set up a new computer on our network, XP Home. They set up only one account, and it's a limited access account.
That's annoying.
It's very annoying, and trying to figure out a way around it.
Do you want to, is there any reason you just don't blast out the installation, format the disk, and start all over again?
Well, that's an option. I was just wondering if there's some other way I can go about doing it, because really, we're just trying to set up an email account on this computer,
right?
And this won't let us do it.
This is where I politely look towards Kevin Rose and say, Kevin, sounds like a job for a password cracking tool.
Yeah, there's several different ways that you can do this. Question for you first: have you tried logging in as administrator with a blank password?
Yeah, nothing works under administrator, admin.
None of that.
None of that.
Okay, so you're probably going to want to just reset the administrator password. Easiest way to do that is get a tool. It's called NT Password. Go into Google. The URL is extremely long, or otherwise I would post it here. But just go to Google and type in NTPASSWD, and it's going to bring you to this page right here. And you're going to download this. It's a little Linux tool, actually. It writes itself to a boot floppy.
Mm-hmm.
You stick it in, and it's going to boot into Linux, and it's going to give you a tool that's going to allow you to overwrite the administrator password. Okay. So basically, it's just going to, there's a file in Windows, in your Windows System 32 config directory called the SAM file. Mm-hmm. And inside the SAM, your Security Accounts Manager, I believe is what it stands for, is where all the password hashes are stored. They're all encrypted in there.
Right.
And so what this is going to do is you're going to type in a new password. It's going to open that SAM file up, and it's going to write the new encrypted hash right over the top of whatever the old administrator password was. And it doesn't have to be the administrator account. If you want to do it to the other account, whatever that name may be, you can just overwrite. Oh, actually, that's the limited account. So
yeah, it's a limited account.
It's going to have to be the administrator account. Yeah, so the administrator account is the one, but this will work for any accounts, for anybody else out there that might have an account they want to get into. Now, just to let you know, if there was anything that was encrypted with the Windows encrypted file system, you're going to lose that, because once you change the password, Windows isn't going to understand how to unencrypt any of those directories that might have been encrypted.
Okay.
So, but if you said, like you said, it's kind of a new machine, you don't really have anything on there, you don't care, just go for this.
I'm just looking for something easier than taking a sledgehammer to it and redoing the whole thing.
There's another way too. If you want to find out what the password is, you can actually go and there's a tool that you can boot into DOS, like NTFS for DOS. Copy that SAM file over to a USB thumb drive, take it offline, fire up something like Loftcrack,
and then just hammer on that.
Just hammer on that. You'll eventually be able to crack that and get in.
And there's nothing you need to save on the PC. Would it just be faster, simpler, and less painful to format it and start all over again?
You know, it would probably be a little bit quicker to do it this way. I mean, if you download this and write it to a disk, it's only going to take you like 5 minutes.
Well, that's fast.
It is pretty fast because, I mean, there's no cracking or anything involved. It just overwrites it. So give this a try. If it doesn't work, just do a fresh, clean install.
Mark, I think we have put you in a good place now.
Thanks for the call, Mark.
Speaking of good places, let's go to Leo.
Hey, Leo.
Tip.
Brand new blogging software for you guys today from WordPress. These are the guys who did B2. They're Great company doing great blogging software. If you've got MySQL and PHP, you should definitely look at WordPress. What are its advantages over, say, Movable Type or Blogger? Well, for one thing, no rebuilding ever again. All the pages are dynamically built in WordPress. And because it's PHP and MySQL, it's very, very fast. Multiple authors, multiple categories, and some nice features that no other blogging tool has. This is the entry page, how you create the blog entry. You can see you can not only have categories, but you can have nested categories. Also some nice advanced posting features, similar to, say, Movable Type, including trackback pinging. You can also, there are a really rich set of plugins available, and I think more being developed all the time. People really seem to take to WordPress and its ease of use. Here's the categories section. You can create different users with different permissions levels for creating their own items on your blog. That's handy for a collaborative blog. And I love this, maybe the single most important reason, comment moderation, to keep those spam comments off there. Lots of control over the comments on your site. It is, I think, a very nice blogging program, brand new, and already has features that many people have been asking for, including the ability to do mobile phone blogging. WordPress at wordpress.org. Take a look.
Very cool.
Thank you, Leo.
Stay where you are. We're going to check our inbox. We have the printouts right here to see what's on your mind when the Screensavers continues. It is that time again. Sarah, do you have any final emails?
I certainly do. This one comes from John. He says, I take a lot of pictures. I shoot 5 or 6, download them to my laptop, see what I got, take 5 or 6 more. Is there a lifespan on media cards, smart media, compact flash, stuff that I'm using a lot?
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
As far as we know, I don't think there's any lifespan you're actually going to hit. You know what I mean? We're talking like zillions of hours.
Yeah. Now, I know the little micro drives that are starting to get pretty popular, little 1 gig. They actually have moving parts in there. So I'm sure there would be some type of hard drive lifespan on there like they do normal hard drives.
Yeah, but a normal hard drive is what? A lifespan of like 100,000 hours?
That's true.
I think you're much more likely to move to a new camera or,
drop it, step on it, wash it in your clothes.
Yeah, or in 3 years. And sometimes washing in your clothes actually won't kill it. Maybe the micro drives, but probably not the solid state media. I think you're more likely to be like, wow, I can buy a gigabyte for $2. I'm going to replace this old piece of memory, than you are to actually wear it out.
Why do they give you like the 8 megabyte with the 5 megapixel digital camera so you can take one picture?
Because 8 megabyte chips are really cheap, and they can sell it to you much cheaper than giving you a usable piece of memory. It's annoying.
It is annoying.
Next one. This one comes from Derek. He says, love the show. Yoshi's Mods rock.
Woo-hoo,
we think so too.
Yosh.
I'm looking at upgrading to a 64-bit platform. As I was looking at the Athlon 64s, I noticed there are 3 flavors, 74-pin, 939, and 940. My question is, should I look more closely at the 754-pin chips? They're more in my price range, or is AMD going to abandon them in favor of the 939?
Okay, so I'd stay away from the 940. The 939 is like the new high-end processor socket of choice for AMD. It's going to be around for a couple of years. If you plan on upgrading your processor in a year, you probably want to go for a 939. 754 is probably going to stay around, but rumor has it they're going to move that to a more lower-end processor. I'd say 939 if you can afford it. Wait a few months, because the other thing is a lot of less expensive chips are available on 939 sockets. It's not just the FX chips. So nose around. The truth is you're going to have a fast system either way, and there'll probably be a little bit of room for improvement on the 754.
Very cool.
Wow. One more?
Okay. Alan says there's a noticeable difference in productivity between single and multiple processor machines.